Hi, everybody. Welcome. So, I am Ashley Williams, and I am so excited to be here today with two incredible women, Jessica Harmon and Crystal Lowe.
Hi, Ashley. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Ash.
Okay, so guys, we're here to talk about Hallmark Media's Make Her Mark Women's Directing Program, which is an on the job mentorship initiative designed to support and increase representation of women behind the camera. So, aspiring female filmmakers are getting their chance to learn firsthand all about directing Hallmark movies. So, we're also going to be talking about this Saturday's all new movie, Dream Moms. So, this stars two dream moms, Tamara Mowry Housley and Chelsea Hobbs, and two amazing stars behind the lens, Jessica and Crystal. So, Jessica Harmon is the director of this movie, and she's directed some fabulous Hallmark movies already, like A Paris Proposal, Game, Set, Love, and Rip in Time, to name a few. And you all postables may recognize Crystal as none other than Rita Hayworth from Signed, Sealed, Delivered, and so many other amazing credits. But today we're all together because these two ladies are the first mentor pair in Hallmark Media's Make Her Mark Women's Directing Program. So we have some questions that Hallmark Channel sent our way to tell you a little bit more about and to talk about Dream Mom. So Crystal, can you please get us started?
Oh, okay. Great. Here we go. Ashley, we're so thrilled that we got to be the first shadowing duo. I just wanted to say thank you to the postables that are tuning in because without your support, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be have gotten the opportunity to walk with Jessica and watch everything. And I honestly think that it's so much of it is because of you guys and how fierce you are. And I encourage you to keep being fierce as much as you can. Send those letters. People listen. I just want to say that from the first place. That's the only reason I got here in the first start. So we were thrilled to get the directing duo because I think what was so amazing about this combo is that Jess and I have known each other for like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
We did a movie together years ago, but also we've been in the Vancouver scene for a long time. We've known each other, we've crossed paths. So it worked out really well that I happened to be shadowing with somebody who I had a relationship with that I already admired. And I knew I was in safe hands. And that's really tough, I think, as a woman, especially in any business, when you're first going into something or trying something new, to feel like the person that you're following around wants you there. They don't want you there. They don't want these programs to they're kind of stuck there. And that was a fear of mine when we got started on this. And that definitely was amazing when I got there because I had none of that. Jessica was an open book. She did what a real mentor is supposed to do, which is, show me everything. She had no problem, keeping anything away from me. And I was really felt like I was being immersed in it. And she even threw me into the fire a couple times, and said, okay, you're directing the scene. You got 20 minutes, go prep. I was like, oh God, but it was all done under the safety of having this mentor that was 100% backing me. So it was a great place to kind of jump in. So that's a little bit on my experience. Jessica, I don't know about you.
I mean, it was the same for me. I got the call. I had been my foray into, and I know we'll get into it as well, because all three of us being actors now turned directors, you're coming in from a very specific side of the industry. So you have a real knack usually for the acting side of things, but when it comes to the cinematography and the lenses and all of everything else, there's a lot to learn, and you don't always see that from our perspective as actors. So I spent a number of years shadowing myself on for the Warner Brothers network, and then was inevitably offered a film through Hallmark to start. And I've had a few shadows over the years that I've brought on, because for me, like, that was how I learned. So that was already really close to my heart in terms of allowing people to come and learn, and not just from me, from everybody else. Like Crystal would, I'd be like at the Village and I'd be like, have you guys seen Crystal? She'd be over behind, the camera, pulling focus or doing something. Like we really, I have found the Hallmark crews I've only worked with ones in Vancouver and Bulgaria, specific places, but those two. But the crews are really, really open to this and really accepting and really supportive, especially of this particular initiative program on Dream Moms. We had an amazing crew who really, really wanted to help Crystal succeed from the jump. So it was a really safe environment that Hallmark had provided for this opportunity. And when I got the call in early January about, here's the program, we've made this program, I was like, I've been talking about this for years. And they were like, yeah, that's why. And they're like, and Ashley Williams has created this. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And my last question, I was like, I like it. I wasn't planning on doing a movie right now, but I'm really into the program, the idea. And I was like, but I do have to say, who's the girl? Who's the girl gonna be? And they're like, it's Crystal Lowe. I was like, I'm in, like, immediately. And so we just had the best time. And Crystal has been after this for over a decade. I've been watching her make short films and really work to get to this position, to be giving an opportunity like this. And there's only, as much as we can rely on other people in film to teach us and to help us, and it really is a family community that we have around the world and as filmmakers. But at the end of the day, eventually someone has to open that door. They do have to and you can kick it down as hard as you want, but someone has to be on the other side helping to open it and garner that access. And that's what Ashley and everyone else involved with the program at Hallmark has done for people like Crystal, who have been putting in the time and the effort and the work. They're now giving them the opportunity with this amazing program to really succeed and to come in, and for people to understand it's the idea behind it is Crystal comes on, shadows me for the 7 weeks. It's 3 weeks of prep, 3 weeks of shooting, 1 week of editing is what we do. So she was there for every second of that entire process. And then when she directs her first film at some point, likely this year, I will come on as the creative executive producer to be there to make sure that she's taken care of, that she feels safe, that she's ready to go. She's already ready to go, but it's a really smart way to facilitate not just giving someone an opportunity, but making sure that they succeed at it rather than just throwing them into, the deep end of the sea. They really feel supported. And this program has been it's been built in a really smart way. And that's, hugely contributed to Ashley Williams and the rest of the team.
Speaking of that, Ashley, do you want to tell them why you got started?
Sure. We were the first. Thank you so much for that, really good, adept description of the program, because I haven't quite nailed. I think I get so excited and in the weeds, but that was I'm glad you just explained how the program works in such a good way. But yeah, I love what you said about that, because as a new director myself, I remember in my own shadow experiences, having this feeling like, I wish you could be there for me, as I'm shadowing and as I'm learning. I wish that I could bring my teacher with me in my first foray. And then when I directed my first feature, I was like, I can't believe they're just letting me do this. No one's here checking me, I'm just going, and it was actually in hindsight pretty risky. I did a good job, but to have as a newer director, to have somebody there sort of having your back and asking you the smart questions to make sure that all your bases are covered is really, to me, what a really good mentorship looks like. So, it's not just about giving Crystal her first opportunity. It's about setting her up for success. But my question now, because you guys know the Dream Moms story so intimately, what do you think it is about this project that was so good for the first foray for the mentorship program?
Well, can I just say that, I love to believe that everything happens for a reason. I'm one of those fate people that believes in the universe and whatever. And, I'm a mom. It couldn't have been a better program for me to come on. I'm a mom of 2 young children. I get it. I understand what it's like to be in the weeds. And that is, a lot. So when the project came to me, it just felt like, oh, this was supposed to come. This made sense for me. Besides all the technical stuff, besides, Jess is on and it worked out. It was a female story told by women, and something that I really understood intimately of self-sacrifice and forgetting who you are. And I think Dream Moms for me was really a wonderful idea, because I think moms just forget to put our own seatbelt on, or we feel guilted, or we feel shamed. If we pursue anything that we love, we feel bad about it. And I don't think that always happens with our dads. You know, they don't feel bad. They just go do what they want to do. And that shame has to be lifted so that we can start doing some more self-care and loving ourselves, because our children don't really listen to what we say. They watch what we do. And if we don't love ourselves, and if we don't take care of ourselves and follow our own passions, that's going to rub off on them. And like that, to me, I can't have, even though I feel separated when I'm working and I feel guilt, I want them to see me doing what I love, so they believe they can do what they love. And I think, to me, that's why Dream Moms is like it all, you know, universe, God, source, whatever is your belief, that just came together and was the perfect fit, I think, for me.
So cool, because I had, as you guys know, I had the opportunity to come and visit on set, and I, you know, I hadn't had the chance to read the script. I wasn't, you know, that wasn't a priority. But coming in and seeing the dancing, I mean, this was like, there was some serious production.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was so cool to see you so confident, Jessica, and to see you empowering Crystal in, you know, ultimately, like I think the first scene that I saw you guys working on was, there was like dance elements, and it was not simple. What was that like for you, Jessica?
Well, I was gonna say, I'm like, because Crystal, really, that was really eloquent of how, you know, the Dream Moms, it's a good explanation of what the film is about. And I think for both of us, it was a nice, both of us switching careers, I don't want to say late in our life, but you know, as an actor in your mid to late 30s, you're basically 80. So we're definitely later in our
we look great for being in our 80s.
We look amazing.
Good.
We have been put out to pasture, but we're looking real good out there. We're in the sun. It's glorious. So when you switch careers, and like, you know, and all three of us have been doing this since a very young age as well. So, you know, I had a 27-year career in acting before I switched films. So when I say I'm 37 and I'm a director, they're like, oh, that's quite young. I'm like, well, not when it's followed by a 27. Like I just said, I had a whole other career for a quarter of a century and then switched over. So the, you know, the real element to that film is that it is never too late as well. And like these mothers that are, you know, proving and showing their children that it isn't ever too late, and that you can do it, and you can be a single mom, or you can be, you know, struggling in any, even in a relationship, whatever it is, to raise children and to showcase, you know, not just being there for them, but at the end of the day, if you're only there for them and they see that, that's going to create a selfless quality within them, which is quite beautiful. But to what extent, you know, to what end? Like when you're falling apart as a human being. And as Crystal mentioned, we see that a lot with parents, is they give everything and then they've got nothing. And you can't give unless you've got something for yourself. So it's really showcasing them finding their passion again and reigniting them. So, you know, that was the huge element and draw for me as well. The other draw for me getting into a technical director side, I was like, ooh, there's 2 leading ladies in it. So I can protect my number 1 SAG-AFTRA 12-hour turnaround. Love that, because she's got like 4 days off on the project. Okay, so I can build the schedule however I want. I look at things like that when I'm breaking down a script. So not only did I think the story was beautiful technically for me as a director, I was like, this is great. And we can block shoot and stuff. But yeah, you know, like it comes with, we make these movies in 15 days, which for an audience who doesn't maybe know much about filmmaking, maybe that seems like a little, maybe that seems like a lot. Like you wouldn't necessarily know. For filmmakers and people in our industry, when you hear about making an entire film in 15 days, it's ludicrous. That's crazy. Like that's a very short amount of time to pull that off. And Hallmark does a really beautiful job of pulling it off. But when you add elements like dancing and singing, you're still, the rest of the movie is still there. We're still making all the rest of the movie that we normally make, but you're adding those elements to it. But we had Tamara Mowry and Chelsea Hobbs who came in and just swung for the fences, and man, did they hit it. Like they just, both of them showed up. They were rehearsals all day, every day. Like we designed specifically to keep things moving. So the film has somewhat of a simplistic design when it comes to a lot of the dancing, because we have to move. We have to find a way to design the film within the confines of our workplace. And those two women were like right there on their marks, ready to go. And they just had the best time making the film. And I think you can really see that in their performances. It's a fun movie. And I know we put a lot of work into it. So I know Crystal and I both are looking forward to seeing the audience reaction to it all. And Crystal had a big hand in this. Like, she was rewriting with us. She was in there when we were dealing with just the chaos of filmmaking. Crystal had her hands all over that, directed multiple scenes throughout the film. Like, it was, she really.
I convinced somebody to get in a fridge. That was my favorite. That's my
she
name as a
did.
director. I got one of our camera ops in a fridge. You know, that was really fun because that was a scene that Jess had kind of just, she had given me one really a bigger size scene that I got to spend time on to design, to go over with her. And then another piece is she would give me 20 minutes or she would give me 2 hours, you know, just to throw me in the fire, which is better for me. I learn better that way. And in one of those scenes, I was like, oh God, what do I want to do with this? I don't know. Oh, you know what? I would like this to be somebody to be in the fridge. And, you know, the DOP was like, no, that's like a shot that we would have to design. We would have to cut open the fridge. I was like, yeah, that's cool. If you can't do it, it's totally fine. But if you could, you know, it would be great. But like, it's cool if you can't. Cut to, the one thing I do understand is human behavior, because I have kids. And so if you force people to do them, they're not going to do it. But if you present an idea and then walk away, to creative people that are good, that really want to elevate their own work or try something new, usually, you know, within 5 minutes, she was like, okay, BCAM's in the fridge. You better hurry up. She's like sitting in the fridge. Go shoot now. I was like, let's go. She's sitting in the fridge. And we go.
And I saw the shot. I like walked in. I think I was talking to the actor or something, and I walked in. I saw the shot and like the door being open. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You just rigged the camera into the fridge. And they're like, no. And I came around the corner and I just see our B camera operator, this like little woman in the fridge holding the camera. I was like, you fit a human in there? I was very proud.
It was amazing. You know, that was like, and those are some of those good moments for learning for me, you know, that just trusted me enough to step away. I have another really dear friend who mentors me all the time. And he was texting me and he said, how's it going? I said, just give me 20 minutes. He's like, she's a good director. I know, but why are you saying that? And he's like, because she has enough control over her set that she feels comfortable enough to say you have 20 minutes and walk away. That says a lot about you, Crystal, but more about her and the confidence that she has in her directing ability. And I was like, oh, I didn't think that way. Of course he would. He's been an EP on a bunch of things and directs too. So that was interesting for me to hear too. And, you know, he's like, these are the times, jump in there and just do something weird. I was like, great, something weird.
I mean, that's so funny, but like, what kind of advice do you feel like you would give? I guess maybe I'll ask you, Jessica, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who's interested in directing and maybe getting into directing? Is it do something weird? Because I think that's pretty good.
Well, I was given the advice by one of my mentors, Dean White, early on in my shadowing career. And Dean said to me, well, first of all, he was like, you need to go out and do a short. He's like, so shadow here, train here on the 100, like we'll teach you everything we can, utilize all the departments, and then go out and make a short. Just try something, like get your friends, get our crew, like pull people, just go try your hand. Because you really need to do it to know if you actually love it, to know if you actually care enough to want to make a career out of this. And you also, he added, you know more than you think you do. Now, this advice is fairly specific to people already within film, because I had been in film for that many years. So, you know, there's an entitlement to and a privilege to what I was given to get to this point in my career. I had worked really hard to get to a certain level, but I was also born into a film family. So I was very aware of the comings and goings and the behind the scenes, because my father's a director, my mother's a producer. So I came from a very privileged place in this industry. I've known it since I was a child. I've worked in it since I was a child. And then when I wanted to switch over, I was surrounded by people who were really uplifting to me. So it can be kind of, I can give advice all day long on directing, how to get into it I took a very specific path. And I think, you know, the three of us share a bit in that path because we came from another position within the industry. And then we utilize the people within our grasp to ask the questions and how do we kind of get there. If you're outside of the industry, you know, there's obviously a school that is always helpful, but I like to tell up and coming filmmakers, you know, for me, I study film on my own time. I watch everything that is on every I pay for every platform in the world. I watch it all. I want to see what every filmmaker is out there doing. Bless you.
I muted myself.
You're so good, like a good director, Ashley. Not like an actress who would just dramatically take over the entire stage. You a good directing thing.
Go on.
Not at all. So, you know, I think there's really something to be said about, yes, you can go to film school. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure I know a lot of people that went and learned a ton, but you can do a lot of that on your own. A lot of that research, a lot of that studying of cinema. I mean, the books are endless. The films are out there at our grasp. So if you're not in film, find the films and the television series that you like the design of, that's sort of your style, and try meeting people in film. There's forums everywhere. You know, I know it can be hard depending on where you live, but if you're in Vancouver or Los Angeles, or like look around in your area and see if there's a local film community or a theater community. Start just going out and shooting things on your iPhone. The iPhones are basically broadcast level. They are broadcast level at this point. So you can actually shoot a movie on your iPhone if you wanted, and get an editing program. Like there's ways of doing it. There's things online that you can watch to study. And I always recommend, you know, getting onto a film set, even if you're just starting at like a production assistant PA, which is a lower level locations assistant on our sets. I know like some of the biggest studio executives and casting directors and producers and directors that I know started at that level, and they got a real good idea on set of how a film set works. Because you can go and you can study, and that's great, but you're never going to understand film until you're actually working within it. And then you rise the ranks, and then you can be there and go, you know what? I thought I wanted to direct. I actually want to be in camera, or I actually want to be in props. Like most people start in one place and they find their other place to love. So there's a lot of options in and out, but people should just know that, you know, it might seem like an industry that's hard to crack into. It's not as hard as you might think it is. And if it's something you want to do, my goodness, go for it. All of us went for it.
All crews are a bunch of misfit toys. That's why I love film, because we're all like the randos that come together and make some stuff, and nobody, you know, you don't need formal training. I don't have formal training. Yes, I grew up in the industry, but like I didn't go to Yale. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to any of the fancy places that I would like to have gone to. You know, and sometimes that makes me feel bad about myself. Like I'm not good enough, or I can't, and that's just not what film is. So, you know, again, like what she's saying of volunteering or going on and working at any position in a film set, you'll find everybody there is from some weird random walk of life, and we all just meld together. That's why I like film, because we're, you know, you'll meet the highest educated, the lowest educated, the, you know, people that speak 3 languages, people who are doing 4 other things on the side. Like I like those people. I like those randos. We're a good crew. We all love each other and we come together. Okay, I got to ask this without giving away any spoilers. What was each of our favorite scenes in Dream Moms? What's your favorite scene in Dream Moms, Jess?
Ooh. I really liked the scenes in which Chelsea Hobbs is interacting with someone that Crystal Lowe knows very well, Jeff Gustafson from Postables. So he just plays quite the ridiculous, the boss of Chelsea's character in the film, and their interactions were quite funny to me. But honestly, watching those two incredible women dance and sing and give it all up there on that stage, and again and again and again, and I mean, they were up there, and tight fitted little sequin numbers with heels on and going and going and going. And like, hey, they'd go through the whole routine and then we go again. Like they were having so much fun doing it. Like they made it look easy and we all knew that it was not, and they just kept giving it their all. So watching that type of focus and dedication from your leading actors is always a wonderful thing, because we can all show up and have a bad day and call it in, but not with those two. Like it was pretty spectacular to watch them just never stop. It was amazing.
Yeah, there's an end scene that I love. I don't want to give away spoilers, but it's a good interaction between mother and daughter. I'll just say that. And it's a really beautiful piece. And Tamara did a fantastic job. And it really touches on what the whole film is about. So I won't say because it'll spoil it. Just hang in there. See if you can find it. Postables, I know you're already figuring it out. As I don't even have to say it. You've already gone through the script. But I'll challenge any Postables watching this to go and figure out what I'm talking about and why. And I'll challenge you to ask yourselves, why do I love that scene so much? Like what, it'll remind you of a Martha moment. And that's why I think I like it.
I want to ask quickly, because I don't want to run out of time, how Ashley, when you decided to make the shift from acting to directing, what the inspiration behind that was, and for you to have to make that move, how difficult was that?
Oh, yeah, I mean, listen, I've always, I think I've always been a director in my head, but I'm sure I've told you this story before, but when I was 15, I was on a soap opera called As the World Turns. And they had these big broadcast cameras. And I went up to the camera guy one day on set and I just asked him if I could get behind the camera and kind of hold it. And he said, why don't you stick to wearing your bikini? And it lit this fire in me. But at the same time, kind of put me in my place at a time it was in the 90s, not to age myself, but it was a time where I sort of took my cue and what I heard was boys are directors and girls, wear bikinis in some weird way. It took me a long time, and really it wasn't until I started working with some incredible female directors. Pam Fryman was sort of the leading, most inspiring one, that I thought, wait a second, am I allowed to do this? And then just hired myself, as you said, Jessica, for no money, to direct my own short film. I echo what you said about, somebody, and I can't remember, I'm probably going to botch this quote, but somebody said that directing is like you're standing on a ladder and you can see the attic. You can see what the lighting is like, and you can see where the props are and what's going on in the attic. And your job is to communicate down the ladder to a crew of 60 people or 100 people below you what you see, and then they have to recreate it. Right. Yeah. So it's really once you have that clear image in your head, the only game is finding the words to communicate it properly. Right. So once I realized I had a clear vision, I needed to then go and learn the language. And that is something that I'm excited to keep up with my education for the rest of my life. I love books and learning in classes, and I love shadowing. So yeah. And, in terms of the future for Make Her Mark, I mean, I'm excited. Ultimately, I would really like to get to 50-50 parity. When I first approached Hallmark about, female directors, there were 8 female directors. And I would like to, out of 100 movies, we had 8. And that was a few years ago, and they were wonderfully on board with the fact that that was something we all wanted to change together, but we had to make sure we did it right. Mm-hmm. That again, we set the women up for success. And I would really like to get to 50-50. I would really like for half of the movies at Hallmark to be directed by women. And I think we're right on track, guys. I think it's going really, really well. So that's exciting. So to wrap this up, because who has all day? You guys want to do? We have this rapid fire game. Do you guys want to play the rapid fire game?
Sure.
It's this or that, and it's inspired by Dream Moms and Make Her Mark.
Okay, I'm not responsible for my answers when they're rapidly thrown at me and I have to answer fast. But I'm game.
I think that's actually what we're interested in, Jessica, is the like unfiltered answers. I think that's why we all showed up today.
Ooh.
Okay, are you ready? So I'm gonna throw this one to Crystal. Dance or sing?
Dance, because nobody would want to see me sing, but I love to dance. A booty shake every morning. I make my kids booty shake. When we get up in the morning, we do a little booty shake.
Can you just stand up and show us really quickly?
I'm not gonna booty shake on here, but it's really cute.
I am.
You shake your booty, and not like booty shake. It's a shake of a booty, and it's fun. All day long.
Show us. Okay, fair. All right, Jessica, dance or sing?
Dance.
Really? Okay.
For very similar reasons.
Sure.
Minus the children.
Okay, design an outfit or go thrifting?
Just
Thrifting.
God, thrifting, I guess, only because I don't think I could design an outfit. Like I tried to make my kid a birthday cake. Ashley saw it. It's everything I make. It was just a mush, and then halfway through I get like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I don't want it to that's what my outfit would look like. I'm just not good at that. So thrift, because it's already made.
Don't buy a birthday cake at a thrift shop, for those of you listening, for all you kids at home.
Goodness.
All right. And Jessica, you said thrifting, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Film a TikTok video or choreograph a dance. I say both. Okay, Crystal. Film a TikTok video or
choreograph a dance on TikTok.
There you go.
I literally am trying to do that now, and I'm so bad at it. And then now it's just turned into like me just doing bad TikTok dances, which is funnier than I think me succeeding. So I'm going to keep doing that.
What about you, Jeff?
I'm going neither. I don't like either of those ideas.
How about film a Hallmark movie?
That I can do. That I'll do.
Okay, play a game of basketball or go for a walk in the park, Crystal?
Go for a walk in the park, but a very fast, brisk walk. I still need to get a workout. Like we can't just be strolling. Let's move in that walk.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Jeff?
A third option? Can I just lie down in the park?
Nap?
Can I? Yeah, I'm making 5 movies a year right now. I'd like to just. Can I lie down?
Sleep, and I'll walk around you. I'll circle you. I'll brisk walk and give you notes.
I'll just hit you both with basketball.
Yeah. Everything's fine, Jess. I just went over the notes. Everything's going good. I'll just keep running around.
That'd be great. Yeah, design the movie for me while you just go.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Host a dinner party or go out to eat?
I love hosting. I'm not a good cook. The food is usually not great, but I really like having people over. Will buy a chicken, one of those roasted chickens, but I'll put it on a plate and then I'll make some roasted veggies and then I'll serve it like I cooked it and it'll be delicious. I like having people in my house so that they can leave and I can still be here.
And not have to drive?
Yeah. It's a win.
These are all really great points she's making.
Yeah.
I have the same answer, but I'm a terrible cook as well. So I don't even do that's smart. I'm gonna steal that idea. I just go charcuterie board. I'm like, here's a lot of cheese. And I'm like, now I can just sit here and drink my wine and everyone can eat cheese and then the meats and we're good in my own home. Yeah.
I have a rule whenever I throw a dinner party at my house, I always wear my pajamas. And it's genius on several levels. The first of which is that everybody's at ease, and I have multiple pairs of pajamas that any guest is allowed to put on. And the second of which is I don't have to stress about what I'm wearing, and I can just go straight to bed as soon as I wipe up the counters.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. This is a lot of good stuff coming out. I think this is actually the most inspirational part of this conversation, guys.
This is the sequel to Dream Moms.
It's called At My House. And you just wear pajamas and hang out together. This sounds like a win.
We talk about female empowerment.
Right.
All right, you guys. Well, this was so much fun. It's really super fun to hang out with you two. And I'm so excited for everybody to see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be awesome. So please tune in. I know I will be. And thank you so much for all of your incredible, generous, hard work. You guys are amazing.
Yes, thank you. Sure. Thank you for this whole thing. And yes, postable shout out and tweet. We'll be tweeting and stuff. So, you know.
Saturday, May 13th, 8/7 Central, only on the Hallmark channel. Mr. Jeff Gustafson makes an appearance. So if that's a reason, that's like the reason to tune in. I mean, he is everything, right? He's my TV husband. Go support him. It's worth it.
See, all directors should have shadows. I didn't even know it was May right now. So like, thank goodness for Crystal. I'm like, oh, it's this week. Okay, that's right. Yeah, that's good.
Wait, and also make sure you guys tweet along with us. And the hashtag is Dream Moms, hashtag Dream Moms. We will see you there. We'll be dancing while we're watching.
We'll be booty shaking, apparently.
We're gonna booty shaking.
We're gonna have to. Crystal will do a TikTok of a booty shake, and then we can all follow along. It'll be great.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.